So now that we are set up with our bucket system affecting the actual mesh LODs, I want to go ahead and start working on just kind of modifying one of the more expensive components that we have, which is going to be the character movement component and its tick rate. So for example, if I run stat game so we can actually kind of see what we're looking at, we have over 4 milliseconds of cost being applied to the character movement component just on its own. And that's due to all 60 of these zombies. They're taking up, 90% of that cost. So to begin, we need to think about some things a little bit. Now, there is a difference between the client and the server in this case. So what I mean is let's pretend we have the host, he's playing, and we also have one connected client. Now, in the case of, let's say the host is, all the way over here, not even looking at the zombies. So they're all at the lowest LODs. So let's pretend the host sets it to something like, the update rate to once a second for the character movement component. So if we set the component tick interval to be 1, so, it's only going to fire again once per second. And we're only setting this server side. And we pretend that we have another client right here in the midst of all the other zombies. So the client's up close, the server's just far away. When we play as a client with that slow update rate on the server, you can kind of see we have these really bad corrections. So as we make these big moves, all of them are being corrected in just an ugly manner and being moved around. So they're being interpolated to their new correct position. So that's something we need to be aware of as to when we kind of figure out, okay, what's the minimum rate we might want to set on the server. So the way we can kind of figure that out is just by testing in this kind of manner. So if I do like 1 divided by 10, so 0.1 as kind of the, I'll call it the default, and then give it a test on the client. I want to see kind of like what all does it look like differently, if any. So that's what it looks like on the client. And ignore a lot of the jitters. That's primarily due to the animation budget allocator. And because I'm playing as a client on the editor, it's overall just a fair bit slower. So I'm looking for the actual movement itself. And to me, it looks very similar to when I have this connected versus not connected. So I'd say 10 times a second or zero point 0.1 as a interval is a pretty good kind of baseline. So if we head to our on bucket LOD chains in our zombie pawn, we can actually go ahead and implement this. Now, for the time being, I'm not exactly sure what all I want to do in regards to the character movement component, especially when it comes down to the zombie itself, but I want to simply just do a very basic switch statement over the new LOD. So in the case of it being 0, we want to, have pretty high fidelity. So we want it to be, nice and smooth and all of that. Now we could set this to either 0, we could set it to 60 times a second, but given that we have, pretty aggressive and more importantly, tweakable settings for this first bucket here where we have it at 5, I'm going to go ahead and just set it to 0. So it's going to take every frame. So we want to go ahead and get our movement component, and we want to set component tick interval to 0 in this case, and then break. So we have a couple more. So we have 3 total LODs. So LOD 0, 1, 2, and then everything else is considered 3. So 0, 1, 2, and 3. And then we just have a default, which I'm going to implement kind of regardless. And just in the case of default, I mostly just do it for the warning. I'm going to revert it back to 0 so it runs, full shabam. All right, so in the worst case, we had it set to 10 times a second, so the interval at 0.1. So let's try 0.1 for the last LOD, and let's try to just kind of gradually step it up. So let's see what 0.1 actually looks like visually. So you can see, hopefully anyways, that it does have a fair bit of stutter, but when they're really far out or there's a big horde of them, it's likely not going to be nearly as noticeable. So that's 0 0.1. Let's try 25 times a second. So to me, that does actually look quite smooth. And these are going to be for more distant LOD. So let's try to step it down. 1 divided by 20. Again, I'm starting very, very aggressive. So they do have some stutter, but when you're back here, at least to my eyes, it does become kind of hard to notice. So we'll try 0.05 as the next one. And then we need kind of the in the middle. So something like maybe 30 times a second, give or take. Which to me, even up here, looks pretty decent, especially given that there's going to be other things happening. So 0.0, basically infinite threes. And I'd say we are in a good spot. Now, I'm going to go ahead and actually close down the editor, actually delete that first, and recompile and relaunch. Something I also want to bring to attention. Now, this is not going to be, a every frame saving cost if these all happen to land on the same frame. And I'll kind of show you that when we get into it, because I want to do a very quick profile. But for example, at some point, well, given that this runs every frame, that means this, whenever this runs, is going to join this. So if we have 5 at LOD 0 and 5 at LOD 1, and whenever this one runs, we have 10 total that are being ticked, not 5 and 5. Likewise, if, let's say we have all 60 zombies and somehow these end up running all in the same frame, then we have all 60 movement components being ticked on the same frame, which could cause a potential spike. Now, it's going to be hopefully pretty rare that that happens, but that is something that can happen. So with that out of the way, if I go ahead and press play now, am I on the server? Yeah. If I press play now, stat game, you can see the overall cost has went from over 4 milliseconds to about 1.8, which in my opinion is pretty good. I want to actually go ahead and just remove that for now. And I want to load up the session browser, which is, oh, it didn't. So here we have our old previous one from, it was either the last video or the video before. And I want to go ahead and close down the editor, words are hard, and give this a try just to kind of see, how it compares to the previous one. So I can see the profiler has currently started recording. So let's do the same, roughly 15-second or so walkthrough. So let's let them keep going. Okay. So I got that pretty darn close. I'm mostly judging by the file size. And I just care about the game thread in this case. And I will, actually, let me just go ahead and zoom in. And we'll select somewhere random, kind of like there. And load up the previous recording or save as well. And do the same thing. So we'll go to the same kind of spot about in here. Okay, so on the old one, we were pretty much getting, the consistent low 10 milliseconds. So, 10.7, 10.2, 10.5, 9.9. Here we have a high one, so on and so forth. So I'm going to grab kind of one of the lower ones. If I can find another 9, there's a 10. And here's a 9.8. All right, so if we, just look at this 9.8, even though it's not really going to matter in this case. We can see, so that's a character mesh. This one here's a character movement component. I'll ignore that because we have some kind of weird gap for some reason. And we'll start at this one because they all are done kind of in order there, which is nice. So this one here takes up about, 3-ish milliseconds. Let's try another one. Where's that one that was just 10 milliseconds? Should have been right about here. So same thing. We have that weird little gap. Not entirely sure what causes it. I haven't actually dug deep enough to see, but we have about the 3.2. So around the 3 to 3.2 millisecond mark. And we'll just grab, so here we actually have a long frame, and this one looks like it might be kind of that problem that I was talking about. So I clicked on the perfect spot actually. So for example, let me count these. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Let's see, and character movement ends about here. So yeah, you can imagine this is, I don't want to say all of them because I'm not going to count out in case that is 60, but this is kind of what I was talking about, where we might have some frames where they overlap with the tick. So in this case, as a reference, we have it at about a cost of 4.1 milliseconds. So this one's quite expensive. But then if we look at the frame before it, it's at 7 milliseconds. Then annoyingly enough, the frame before that's at 11.2. Then we have 8.6, 8.9. And then after it, we have another low one and some more low ones in, the lower values. So if we look at the 7 millisecond one, here we just have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we only have 7 of the character movement components ticking. I'm starting to think this might just be our, that all shows Manny simple, so it's likely the zombies. And then again, if we go back to this 11.1, okay, so this one has a few here. So this has just something else causing the frames to be long. And then we have this guy here. We have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So we have 14 being ticked over the duration of 1.1 millisecond. So, this is saving 2 milliseconds on this frame just from the movement component. And you can kind of hopefully start to kind of see where this is beneficial, but it still has some general problems. So hopefully that kind of makes sense. But overall, aside from frames where we have, like this, where we just have a huge stack, which can be somewhat mitigated by being a little bit more cautious with the actual tick interval values and not actually setting them in such a, I guess you could say, like a specific manner. So in this case, if we kind of scaled this a little bit more, kind of along like a curve, for example, this might end up, working out a little bit better. So that's something else we're going to want to take into consideration. So instead of just having one, I'll just say 1, 2, 3 fixed values, we had kind of a, not an infinite range, but like we just had a ton more, such as scaling it alongside, our actual raw significance value. That might yield us some good results that mitigate this problem. So we're going to keep that in the back burner for now, but we at least do know that this overall concept has yielded us quite an improvement overall because we're going from, after doing everything, 10, the low 10 milliseconds per frame to, mid 8 milliseconds. We do have some occasional spikes. There's a 10, some in the 7. So I'd say like mid 8 milliseconds. So we know what we can achieve using this. So like again, here's another one that's 12.7 milliseconds and it has starting from here we have a lot of movement component stuff being ticked. And that one just alone took 6.4 milliseconds. So comparing that to, one of the other ones that we have here, and this was in the previous recording. We'll go to this 11 point something something. So from down here to up there, 3.4. At least this is consistent. So it does seem like we do have some just general things that we do have to deal with. But again, I digress. And yeah, that'll be all for this video. If you like what I'm doing and you want to help support me, you can find a link to my Patreon in the description below, where you can also get early access to this entire series.